You don't take the night shift because it pays well. You take it because nobody asks questions at 2 a.m. The city is asleep, the dispatcher has gone quiet. It's just you and the rain and 40 miles of empty road between you and anything that matters. You've learned to like that. Most people need noise, a podcast, music, something to fill the dark. You've been driving long enough that the dark stopped bothering you. You sit with it now. You and the sound of your wipers and whatever's left of your diner coffee. This is the story of one fare, 1 hour, and the thing you can't explain to anyone who wasn't there. You grew up in Central California. Your father fixed trucks and drank. Not violent, just absent. Same recliner every night, TV volume maxed out like he was trying to disappear into it. Your mother worked a register at the hardware store until her back gave out. You dropped out at 17 because algebra doesn't keep the lights on. Your first job after that was driving, deliveries, then shuttles, then cabs when there were still cabs. You weren't looking for a career, you were looking for something that kept you moving. Stillness has always made you nervous. You don't examine that too closely. It's 1998. The city you work is the kind that never makes the news. A grid of orange street lights and 24-hour laundromats and bars that don't close until the bartender gets tired. You know every block. You know which traffic lights run long. You know which intersections flood when it rains hard. You've been driving these streets for 3 years and you still don't know a single person's name who lives on them. That doesn't bother you. That's the deal you made. Tonight, the rain hasn't stopped for 3 days. Not dramatic rain, just steady. The kind that doesn't feel like weather anymore. It feels like a condition, like the sky made a decision and isn't interested in changing its mind. The dispatch radio has been dead static for an hour. You're not worried. Dead nights happen. You're nursing a cold cup of coffee and watching the yellow streetlights blur past the glass and telling yourself you'll take one more fare, just one more. Then you'll go back to your apartment and sleep until noon and not think about anything. The radio crackles. Unit 4, I've got a pickup. County Road 9, old lumber yard off the 1-4. You copy? You stare at the dashboard. County Road 9 is an hour outside the city limits. Dead pine trees, unpaved dirt, the kind of road that shows up in the directions for places that don't want to be found. You reach for the mic. You're gonna tell dispatch to give it to someone else. Then she says it. Client is offering triple meter. Cash up front. You look at your gas gauge. You think about the final notice folded on your kitchen table. You pick up the mic. I copy. On my way. The city thins out fast once you get past the overpass. The street lights stop, the road narrows. The rain sounds different on unpaved ground. Heavier, more personal, like it's landing specifically on you. The lumber yard has been closed for 10 years. You know this the way you know all useless things, from the radio, from overhearing conversations at the diner, from the general accumulation of small-town facts you didn't ask to carry. The power out here was cut years ago. The fence is still up, but the padlock rusted through sometime around '94. You pull through the gate. Your headlights find him immediately. He's standing in the middle of the yard. Not near the fence, not near the road, the middle. He's wearing a heavy dark coat, the kind you'd wear in January, not October. No umbrella, no bag, no car parked anywhere you can see. His arms hang at his sides in a way that looks slightly wrong, like the elbows bend a fraction too far. He's standing in the rain and not moving at all. Your foot goes to the gas pedal, not pressing it, just resting there, covering it, the way you do when you're not sure yet. Every instinct you've built over 3 years of night driving is telling you the same thing. It's telling you to leave. You've had bad fares before. You've had guys who smelled like blood. You've had women who cried the entire ride and said nothing when you asked if they were okay. You've had a man who just stared at the back of your head for 45 minutes without speaking. You've learned to read people through the rear view. You've learned what a bad fare looks like before they open the door. You don't get a reading from this one. That's the part that worries you. While you're still deciding, the back door opens. You didn't see him move.
You were watching him. He was there, then the door was open, then the cold air hit the back of your neck, then the door closed. The temperature drops about 10 degrees in 4 seconds. Not a feeling, actual temperature. You can see your breath. You look in the rear view. The back seat is mostly shadow. You can see the brim of a wide hat, a dark coat, nothing else. His face sits in the gap between the hat brim and the collar, and there's nothing there but dark. He smells like wet earth, like something dug up, like copper, but older than copper. "Where to?" you ask. He raises one hand, pale, gloved. He points one finger forward, toward the highway. You put the car in drive. 40 minutes in, he still hasn't moved. Not shifted in his seat, not adjusted his coat, not looked out the window, not cleared his throat, or done any of the small unconscious things that bodies do when they occupy space for a long time. He is sitting like objects sit, like furniture sits, perfectly, absolutely still. The silence is a physical thing. It has weight. It presses against the windows. The fog came in around mile 20 and hasn't let up. It's the heavy kind that rolls off pine trees, low, thick, opaque. Your high beams hit it and bounce straight back. You're driving in a tunnel of white mist with about 25 feet of visible road ahead of you and nothing on either side but the sound of trees you can't see. You try the radio. You want something in the background. Jazz, talk, weather, anything with a human voice in it. Static. Hard, flat, white static. You click it off. You have a rule on long fares. Don't check the mirror more than once a minute. It makes passengers uncomfortable, and it makes you anxious. You check it once at the top of every minute, and that's enough. You break your rule. You can't help it. The third time you look, you notice his neck. It's bent. Not tilted, the way you tilt your head against a window to sleep. Bent. At an angle that doesn't correspond to any position a neck achieves voluntarily. About 40 degrees to the right and slightly forward, like something went wrong inside it and then stayed that way. And he still isn't breathing. You've been watching, the way you watch anything you can't look away from, and his chest has not moved once, not a single rise, not a single fall. For 40 minutes of highway driving in cold air, the man in your back seat has not taken a single visible breath. You hit a pothole, hard, the kind that rattles your fillings. Your coffee bounces out of the cup holder. Your whole body lurches right. The change in your jacket pocket scatters across the seat. He doesn't move. Not a flinch, not a sway. The suspension went out from under the car and came back, and he sat through it like he was bolted to the frame. Like the laws of physics that applied to every other object in the car simply did not apply to him. You grip the wheel. Your knuckles go white. You are doing the math in your head, and the math is not coming out right. And you need light. You need other people. You need somewhere that isn't this fog and this road and this silence. You need to stop this car.
The neon cuts through the fog about a quarter mile out, red and white, open 24 HRs. One of the letters in hours is burned out. It just says open 24 HRs. And below that, on a handwritten paper sign taped to the inside of the glass, cash only. You pull in without asking him. You don't want to ask him anything. You park at the pump, you turn off the engine, you lock the doors behind you. You don't look back. Inside smells like stale cigarettes and industrial bleach and something underneath both of those that you decide not to identify. The fluorescent lights are doing that thing where they flicker at the edge of your perception. Not off, not on, just wrong. The music coming from the ceiling speaker is something slow and warped, like the tape is wearing out. Whatever it was is barely recognizable now, just the shape of a song. The kid behind the bulletproof glass looks about 19. He's got the kind of pale that comes from spending every night under fluorescent light and every day asleep. Usually these guys are half present, processing cash transactions on autopilot, going through the motions until their shift ends. This one is not going through the motions. He is completely still, staring past you, through the streaked glass of the store window at your car parked at the pump. You slide a 20 under the partition. He doesn't take it. His hands are flat on the counter and they are shaking. He leans toward the microphone hole in the glass. His voice comes out barely above a whisper. "Mister, who is that in your car?" You turn around. Through the rain-streaked window, you can see your cab sitting under the pump lights. The back door is open, wide open, swinging slightly in a wind you can't feel from in here. The back seat is empty. No coat, no hat, nothing but the seat and a dark, wet stain on the leather where he sat, like he was made of water, like he soaked into the upholstery and was gone. The kid is still staring at you. He hasn't touched the 20. You walk back out into the rain. You get back to the car, check the back seat, check the floor, check the trunk through the interior. Nothing, just that stain, muddy water and something darker that you don't look at too long. You lock every door, you start the engine, you pull out of that gas station so fast you clip the curb on the way back to the highway. You drive at 80, the steering wheel vibrates, you check the mirror every 10 seconds. Empty, empty, empty. You start to breathe again. You start to build the explanation in your head. Trick of the light, wrong turn, nothing weird about fog and a quiet passenger and a kid who was probably stoned out of his mind behind that register. You've been driving night shifts for 3 years. You're tired. Tired people see things. The radio turns on by itself. You didn't touch it. Your hands are on the wheel. The dial clicks on like a switch flipped somewhere inside the dashboard, and the static rushes in and then goes quiet, and then the voice comes through. Not music, not a DJ, the emergency broadcast system, that flat, robotic text-to-speech voice they use for tornado warnings and amber alerts. Warning, all drivers on County Road 9, do not stop your vehicle. If you see a man in a dark coat on the side of the road, do not look at him. It repeats once, then the static comes back, then the radio goes dead. You look at the road. He is standing in the middle of the highway, exactly where you picked him up. Same stretch of road, same dark coat, same wide-brimmed hat, same arms hanging slightly wrong at his sides. He is standing in your lane, and your headlights are on him, and he is not moving. You have about a second and a half. You swerve, the car goes sideways, the rear end breaks loose on the wet asphalt, and you're spinning, and the front of the car finds the pine tree, and the world becomes noise. Glass, metal folding, the airbag, steam, then nothing. Just the hiss of the radiator, and the rain on the roof, and the tick of the cooling engine. 7 seconds of absolute quiet. You lift your head off the steering wheel. There's blood in your left eye. The windshield is cracked in a spiderweb from the center. Through it, you can see the highway, empty, the fog sitting low across the asphalt. Nobody there. You breathe. One long breath. You're alive. The car is dead, but you're alive, and the road is empty, and whatever that was is gone. You reach for the door handle. The back seat squeaks. Wet leather, the way wet leather sounds when weight shifts on it. You don't move. You don't breathe. You are sitting with your hand on the door handle, and every muscle in your body is locked up, and the smell hits you again. Wet earth, copper, something that has no name, and it is coming directly behind you. You raise your eyes to the cracked rear-view mirror. He is sitting in the back seat, same position, same coat, same hat. His face is visible now in a way it wasn't before. Pale, sharp, the skin pulled too tight over the bones. His eyes are open. They catch the light the wrong way, like cat's eyes, like there's something behind them that shouldn't be there. He leans forward, slow, deliberate. His face comes to within inches of the back of your neck, and in a voice that sounds like gravel settling at the bottom of a very deep hole, he says, "Drive." That's a wrap. The story is fiction, but the feeling isn't. That feeling of being trapped inside something that started small, one late-night dispatch call, one choice that seemed like no big deal, and then grew walls around you while you were busy not paying attention. That feeling is real.
A lot of people know it from a lot of different directions. Somewhere right now, a driver is sitting at a red light on an empty street at 2 a.m., staring at a dispatch call they know they shouldn't take, and they're thinking about the money, and they're picking up the mic. If this one got to you, drop a comment, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.